Welcome to the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda. I'm Brandon O'Doy. Couldn't be more excited to join you here at Vero Beach High School for a wonderful Game of the Week matchup with the Fort Lauderdale Flying L's from South Florida. But first, let's jump right into the highlights.
Let's take a look at Ion Central Florida, brought to you by Orlando Health. Apopka, Dr. Phillips, Jackson Darlington to Fred Young, touchdown. They would hook up again later on in this contest, but Akeem Brown would get one of his 2 touchdowns here on the ground. The junior running back is truly sensational. Darlington fakes the run and gets the pass to Young. 38-7, Apopka rolls over Dr. Phillips, the defending 8A state champs. Elsewhere, West Orange takes on Timber Creek. That's Nema Hall. 96 yards later, kickoff return for a touchdown. Timber Creek was held to just 94 yards in this contest. Elijah Stimmel hits Daryl Harding here, and 47-7, West Orange would roll over Timber Creek. Mandarin would come down from Jacksonville to take on D-Land. Carson Beck hits Darian Oxidide there. Leonard Roll and Cameron Miller would answer for D-Land, and this would be a back and forth contest, but eventually Carson Beck would put this away. He hits Kazmir Abdul for a 24-21 win for Mandarin. Now let's take a look at the scores around Central Florida from week 4. Okay, another big week in the Orlando area. Rockledge 35-0 winners over Space Coast. Rockledge is a team that's absolutely rolling right now in 5A. They're going to host Miami Southridge in a wonderful test for them to get them playoff ready as they continue to march on, led by none other than Mr. Jalen Mitchell himself. Seminole 42-0 winners over University as well. Okay, so let's look at the Central Florida teams that are ranked in our football hotbed. Florida State top 25, number 25 Edgewater enters the rankings for the first time. 21 is Rockledge. Osceola checks in this week at number 14, remains undefeated. They're absolutely on a roll in Osceola. And Wekiva sits at number 7 inside the top 10. They're 3-0 after a bye in week 4, and they're looking for more. Wekiva getting it done in Central Florida as the top-rated team in the area.
Okay, and still ahead on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report. We still have Game of the Week coming up here between Vero Beach and Fort Lauderdale. We've got the top plays of week 4, and don't forget the Turn on the Tape segment. But next, it will be Eye on South Florida when we come back on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda. Now it's time for Eye on South Florida, brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers. Welcome back to the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda. We're here in Vero Beach, Florida, where we have a great game between Vero Beach and the Fort Lauderdale Flying L's from South Florida. But we'll get to those highlights in just a minute. First, it's time to go to South Florida as we take a look all around at the greatest highlights of the weekend. It's time for Eye on South Florida presented by your South Florida Honda dealers.
Coconut Creek hosting American Heritage, and that is an interception by Cameron Giles, but he's not done. Look at the big fella marching. He's got the cavalry in front of him. Touchdown, American Heritage. And wow, if that were not enough, his teammate Dorian Jones said, man, don't leave me out of the pick 6 parade. I'm out of here. Touchdown, Jones. He got MVP first week of the season for Football Hotbed, and deservedly so. But American Heritage will make their own mistakes. That's Tywan Mullins. He would get his own interception. He verbaled to Indiana this week. He's the younger brother of starting Clemson defensive back Trayvon Mullins. But it wouldn't be enough. 40-0, Coconut Creek would lose to American Heritage. Let's go to Booker T. Washington visiting Columbus. That's Brandon McDuffie to Gary Cooper for a touchdown. Torrey Morrison and Ja'Cory Brooks would get back into the action. This was a back and forth, but Henry Parrish would put it away. 28-21, Columbus beats Booker T. Now, Southridge and Killian. Tyreek Stevenson takes the ball from 69 yards out, and I now pronounce you very fast. The All-American wasn't done. He'd have some more to say in this game. Killian would try to make a game of it, getting on the board here. But I don't know why they kicked again to Tyreek Stevenson, this time from 87 yards out. The All-American takes the ball all the way back. 57-13. Southridge is over Killian. They take on Rockledge, Upper Brevard County, they're undefeated next week. Cardinal Gibbons hosting Miami Jackson. That's Amari Daniels, the sophomore sensation. 99 yards later, after being backed up into their own end zone, touchdown. This was tied 6-6, and Gibbons would get on the board with Coleman Bennett. Tough run up the middle from 1 yard out, and Dayton Montiel would tack on what they needed to get the 16-6 victory over Miami Jackson, a district game. Now let's go to the rest of the scores in South Florida. Number 1, Carroll City continued to roll over Miami Norland 36-7 in a district battle in 16-6A. American Heritage Delray 42-7 over Pace. So let's keep an eye on American Heritage Delray as they continue to make a name for themselves in St. Thomas. Too much for Stranahan, 52-0. They're looking forward to that matchup with Miami Central. Game of the week coming up, and these are the rest of your South Florida Week 4 scores. All right, so in South Florida now, the teams atop the Florida State Top 25 rankings start with Miami Central at number 4. Number 3 is Deerfield Beach. They took care of Westlake and Buford in consecutive weeks, and this is a team that's absolutely rolling even after their win this past week against Blanche Ely. St. Thomas comes in at number 2, and they get ready for their big matchup against Miami Central coming up this Friday. It will be game of the week, and number 1 is Miami Carroll City. Daniel Richardson, Naquan Wright, and Coach Benedict Hippolyte have them rated number 1 in the state.
And now let's take an in-focus look at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. This week, the NFL released that St. Thomas Aquinas led all high schools in the nation as having the most amount of alum on active NFL rosters. We decided to send our senior writer, Marcus Benjamin, in focus to see what makes St. Thomas so special.
St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale is the gold standard of high school football in the state of Florida. Aquinas claims 10 state championships and 2 national championships. They've won 3 out of their last 4 state titles and 5 in the last 10 years. Among active NFL players that started week 1, 15 came from St. Thomas, which is the most among high schools across the country. Since the 90s, former head coach George Smith has built a championship-winning program and has set the foundation that has carried on for generations.
Everybody tries to coach the best they can, and we work at that. We're trying to lay a foundation of life for them, and I think that's important, not even with their skill level, but you got to work.
Don't start acting all funny now.
What's your positions?
You signed up for this. Finish it. It's almost done.
Left foot, left hand. Elbow to the ground.
Finish it with authority and enthusiasm. Finish strong. The clock will run out. As of right now, Central's on the clock. Win every moment.
We're looking forward to the matchup against Central. It's one play at a time. We're looking forward to each and every moment. We don't take a second for granted. We understand that life is extremely valuable, and we're blessed to be in this situation.
While many colleges can claim that they are NFL U, St. Thomas Aquinas can rightfully claim that they are NFL high. I'm Marcus Benjamin for FootballHotbed.com in Fort Lauderdale.
Thanks, Marcus. St. Thomas is truly a special program. And we're excited to continue here on the FootballHotbed.com Florida High School Football Report. When we come back, we're going to get to Game of the Week, top plays, and turn on the tape. But first, time to go eye around Tampa Bay as well as eye around Florida. All that and more when we come back on the FootballHotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda.
And now it's time for the Eye on Tampa, presented by Honda. Lakeland taking on Gibbs, and this was all Lakeland from the very beginning. That's a nice long touchdown run. and Lakeland would tack on more here. The score would be 58-0 in this one. It was all Lakeland. They are still undefeated, one of the top teams in the state of Florida. Let's go to Plant City and Leonard, and Plant City couldn't stop that touchdown by Leonard, and it was back and forth, but Plant City would get the best of them, 56-28. Tampa Bay Tech now, they take on Strawberry Crest in a long TD run here by Tampa Bay Tech. Coach Jason Roberts' Tech team is undefeated at this point. Strawberry Crest would get on the scoreboard here with a nice field goal. It's up and it's just sneaks into the uprights, but this was all Tampa Bay Tech. 47-10, they march on, also undefeated. Let's now go to the rest of the scores around the Tampa Bay area. Taking a look around Tampa Bay, Armwood 2014 winners over Chamberlain. Sneaking by Chamberlain and continue to march on. After that week 1 slip up against Tampa Bay Tech, they've been absolutely rolling. Got past Plant, now getting past Chamberlain. Coach Evan Davis and the Armwood team are rolling, looking to try to get back to the state championship once again. And this time, they hope to walk away as champs. These are the rest of your Tampa Bay area week 4 scores.
Godby taking on Leon, and check this out, Jaquez Yant gets the ball, takes it around the right-hand side, and he is gone. Touchdown. Next possession, Alvin Jones takes the pass from Jaheim Knight, and he would get into the end zone on his own. This was all Godby, and then Knight would do the honors on his own, marching and racing toward the end zone. Godby 57-0 in this one over Leon.
All right, so let's check out the Tampa Bay top 25 teams. Coming in at 17 is Armwood, 14 Pinellas Park. But seen here, this is Tampa Bay Tech. This team is absolutely on a roll, undefeated in 7-8, and they're looking for more as week 5 approaches.
Great highlights. So now let's take a look at the scores all around the great state of Florida.
Big game in Jacksonville. Trinity Christian 41-13 winners over Bowles. This is a game that has not been played for some many years. Trinity Christian is absolutely rolling, and we'll look forward to see how they continue to shape up as they get used to their new Region 5A in the state of Florida. Ribault took care of Swanee 16-15. Reigns too much for Fletcher 47-14. And these are the rest of your scores all across the state of Florida for week 4.
All right, so we're finally ready. When we come back, time for Game of the Week right here, Vero Beach, as they take on Fort Lauderdale. We'll have that, the top plays of the week, which you voted for, and turn on the tape. All that and more when we come back on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda. Welcome back to footballhotbed.com. We're here on location at Vero Beach, Florida. Very exciting atmosphere for a great game between the Vero Beach Indians and the Fort Lauderdale Flying L's. This is our game of the week. Both of these teams come into this game undefeated. And without further ado, let's get right out to highlights of our game of the week for week 4.
Vero Beach, Florida, the site of Game of the Week, week 4. Lenny Jankowski, head football coach, Vero Beach. He and his Vero Beach Indians are nursing a 47 consecutive game win streak in the regular season, and it wouldn't stop today. That's Brian Primus Winston getting all the way down nearly to the 30-yard line. They would punch it in on the very next play. Meet Javian Cuff, the Buffalo commit. This wide receiver absolutely had a day. 7-0 Vero over Fort Lauderdale. Now, both of these teams came into this game undefeated, but this was the Javian Cuff show. Second touchdown on the day for the young man. 14-0 Vero over Fort Lauderdale. And we're still in the first quarter. And then DeMarcus Harris would run an amazing route, 21-0, and Vero was rolling. Now check out Fort Lauderdale. This is their quarterback, Mr. Forage. He's running and getting some good yardage, but he forgets to hang on to the football. And Jack Karshner gets the turnover cape. We talked to Coach Janikowski at halftime.
Defense is really banging and created some turnovers that got our offense a couple extra possessions. Offensively, I felt like we didn't take advantage of some things and panicked a little bit. Coach Dunbar and his staff do a great job, and so they give us a little different look than we expected. Not anything that we shouldn't be able to handle. So we got to get some things cleaned up, take care of the football, maintain some drives offensively, continue to play defense, and play a little bit cleaner the second half.
Third quarter action now. Big field goal by Cali Carnival Ejim, the only scoring that Fort Lauderdale would do. Now, start of the fourth quarter, Vero still going. That's Javian Cuff. He had an absolute day. He really turned it on. 28-3 Vero, and they would continue to roll. The Bobby McMillan touchdown here would put the icing on the cake. And Vero Beach comes away 42-3 winners. We talked to Coach Jankowski.
Well, I'm just proud of the way that we, played for 48 minutes, and it's something that we preach. All coaches preach that, but our guys do a good job. We got a lot of guys contributing tonight. And I told you at halftime, hats off to Coach Dunbar and his staff. They always do a great job. His kids play very hard, well disciplined. Gave us a bunch of different looks defensively, so we had to think on our feet, and our guys were able to capitalize on some things. And throughout the night, we played great defense.
I feel good tonight. I want to thank my team for helping me in my back, and they always have my back. I'm a coach real hard.
All right, it's that time again. It's time to turn on the tape. Every week we give the MVP of the game of the week the opportunity to tell the college coaches he wants to recruit him to turn on the tape. This week is no exception. Week 4's Turn on the Tape starts right now. It's time for you, Emmanuel Anderson, to turn on the tape. Tell these college coaches who you want to look at the tape from tonight.
Miami, the U.
All right. He's with the hometown team, the state team here in the state of Florida, the U. What does Miami need to know about what you bring to the table?
I'm a hard hitter. That's it.
All right, they need that defensively. Coach Manny Diaz and Coach Ephraim Banda, take a look, turn on the tape from tonight. All right, now it's that time you've been waiting for, the top plays of Week 4. Let's go right out to play number 5 this week on the Florida High School Football Report.
Number 5, let's go to Boyd Anderson and Dillard. Amari Hill with a nice diving interception there for Dillard. Gets a chance to celebrate with his coach. When you make top plays, you celebrate. 36-6, Dillard over Boyd Anderson. Number 4, check this out. Miami Edison in the red, Miami Central in the white. And this looks positive until Jesus Machado from Miami Central chases down that play, gets a strip and the ball. Edison will fall to Central 41-0. Number 3, Daniel Richardson, Miami Carroll City. And watch this play. This young man can absolutely spin it. Off his back foot to a big-time wide receiver, Amari Johnson. The strike, touchdown, and 36-7 win over Miami Norland. Let's go to the West Coast. Strawberry Crest, Mr. Juan Gonzalez gets his hands in the air, waving around like he just don't care. Now watch this again. Puts his hand in the air and then has the sense of mind to get it for the INT. Jackpot Player of the Week right here, number 1, Mark Anthony Richards. Watch him take a seat over someone. That is incredible. I now pronounce you very fast. He is the younger brother of Amon Richards at the University of Miami, but he's a 5-star recruit in his own right. Great play there. Those are your top plays.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report. It's been a joy and a pleasure to be here at Vero Beach, Florida. For now, I'm Brandon O'Doy. We'll see you next week for Week 5 action. It's a hotbed world.